Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. I feel free. Bum 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 bum. I feel free. Bum 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 bum. I feel free. Bum 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 bum. I feel free. Bum bum bum.
It is Saturday, March the 13th, and this is what we call the Cutting Edge. I'm Delta, your host, and Darko joins us here in the studio. Darko's done an extensive amount of research on the topic tonight. Tonight we're going to be discussing chemtrails, weather modification, and hopefully your opinions, which means you can write us at digitaladdiction@gmail.com, visit the blog at digitaladdiction.wordpress.com, or on Skype by messaging the name Digital Addiction. All right, Darko, take it away, my friend.
How you doing, Delta?
Awesome, man. Thanks. Okay, you wanted to bring Ben into the conversation, at least for the start of the show, I think, right? All right, let's see if we can get Ben on Skype. Ben, are you with us?
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Before we get started, I wanted to bring this up. Have either of you heard or read this article about gas being $7 a gallon?
No, but I've been hearing about that for a long time. As far as the gas prices inflating. No, I hadn't heard anything recent in the news. You might want to fill if you could fill us in.
Okay, well, thanks, Ben. How about you, Darko?
No, I haven't heard anything recently, so I just know that eventually it will happen. So it just depends on whenever our masters want to, put the final nail in the coffin.
Has there been any recent news on this subject?
Yeah, I originally found the story on Drudge Report. Now, I should have printed it then and saved a copy, but I didn't. So I want to read this to you because it kind of fits a little bit with the weather modification that we're going to be discussing here. To meet the Obama administration's target for cutting greenhouse gas emissions, some researchers say Americans may have to experience a sobering reality of gas at $7 a gallon to reduce the carbon dioxide emissions in the transportation sector 14% from 2005 levels by 2020. The cost of driving simply must increase. Carbon dioxide? Really? This kind of fuckery just really gets to you after a while, does it not?
Well, yeah, if they do that as far as a gas tax, like a big-time gas tax, in order to cut CO2, that would definitely raise the prices significantly.
Well, there's... as far as gas prices going up, it's with the current monetary policy that our nation is under. Gas prices are going to go up, but it's inevitably that all prices are going to go up because we're in a dollar crisis, is what we're having, and there's an abundance of our currency being created and expanded, especially here within the past year or so, especially since the passing of TARP. So what we're really looking at is a dollar crisis, and as far as the thing is that $7-8 actually sounds kind of on the low end of what I would think would actually be the possibility of the prices exploding into.
Wow, so you're saying they could actually be higher? That's interesting.
Oh yeah. It's the amount of just the creation of the cash that they've been creating and shipping over to these foreign banks for them to sit on for the time being. And it's not just the digital money that they're creating. They have to create a certain amount of physical paper money to back that digital money. And we're talking about just basically warehouse loads, warehouses, where they just have pallets and pallets of U.S. dollars just sitting there, wrapped up and ready to go. And once they unleash that, they're just sitting on it right now. Once they unleash that, we're not just going to be seeing astronomical gas prices, but basically astronomical prices of any and all commodities or services.
Yeah, that's some wild stuff. So what do you want to talk about next there, Delta?
Yeah, I was going to ask about the video that you had about CNN, the one a couple weeks ago about, well, how it was labeling everybody a schizophrenic nut job, basically, because you ask questions because, you don't agree with them right away. It's sickening, really.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw it too.
All right, well, tell me what you think about it.
This is the kind of derision we're going to be subject to. I don't want to sound pretentious, but I think it's most likely because we're right.
I agree. Most of it is. Some of it is not, obviously, but yeah. Aren't you just outraged by that?
That is the objective, to upset us and to throw us off our focus and to distract us.
Yeah, don't think, just follow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Ben. All right, Darko, I guess I'll turn it over to you. I know you have a lot of research that you can't wait to get into. So I guess tell us about chemtrails and weather mods.
Yeah, the whole chemtrail debacle, because there's something definitely that's going on up there in the skies that we're not being told about. And I think it makes a lot of people sick. I mean, literally sick, like with their health and that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cover a whole wide range of what chemtrails are. I like to call it weather modification because that's what they call it. But as far as the chemtrails go, we're going to talk about the different ways of weather modification, the different styles, how the government is calling for it, how the governments around the world are already doing it, and we're going to go and talk about the health effects and what these people have planned for us in the future. First I'm going to start off with a definition of what and it says here, weather modification is the act of manipulating or altering certain aspects of the environment to produce desirable changes in the weather. Weather control can have the goal of preventing damaging weather such as hurricanes and tornadoes, which our government has done in the past. They've tried to steer hurricanes away, and it says, and causing beneficial weather such as rainfall in an area experiencing drought, and this is what China is currently doing, and provoking damaging weather against an enemy or rival as a tactic of military or economic warfare. Weather modification in warfare has been banned by the United Nations. And that then takes us to, how are these people able to do this? How are they able to spray these chemtrails that don't exist? Well, they did up in the United Nations. 1977 is called the UN Environmental Modification Convention, and so it's kind of tricky how they kind of bypass this whole weather modification law or treaty or resolution that was made. And I'll just give a brief background on what that was. Environmental Modification Convention, it was held to regulate weather control or modification, particularly hostile weather warfare, and it was addressed by the United Nations General Assembly in a resolution. It says the Convention on the Prohibition of Military or any other hostile use of environmental modification